We're seeing a huge shift in the wedding industry towards outdoor weddings, so I'm sure you're thinking, should I be considering this for my wedding? In this video, I'm going to be walking you through the 4 things that you need to consider when you're choosing between having an indoor versus outdoor wedding. Quick spoiler, one of those 4 things includes gathering restrictions because wedding planning is stressful enough without having to stop halfway through and replan your wedding to fit gathering restrictions. Before we get started, let me know in the comments below, do you prefer to have an indoor wedding or an outdoor wedding, and why? If you don't know yet, then by the end of this video, you'll have a pretty good idea of which option is the best fit for you. When choosing between an indoor or an outdoor wedding, the first thing that you need to consider is the overall experience that you want and the vision that you have for your wedding. Are there any activities that you would like to incorporate into your wedding that you wouldn't be able to do in an indoor wedding? Are there spaces that you'd like to have that is limited with an indoor wedding or an outdoor wedding? For example, you might want to have multiple spaces for your guests. If they don't want to dance or be near the music and they want to have conversations with each other, you might want to have a space away from the music and the noise where they can talk and hear each other and socialize. And that might not work with an indoor venue because of limited space. Whereas with an outdoor venue, you might have more spaces to work with. Think about that, and then that'll help you decide which option is best for you. The second thing you want to consider is your budget. A common thought is that outdoor weddings can be cheaper than indoor weddings, but that's not necessarily true. Sometimes you can end up in a position where you're building a venue from scratch with a tent, flooring, lighting, bathrooms, and everything else. So that could end up costing a lot more than an indoor wedding. So here you want to consider the vision that you have for the wedding compared to the amount that you're comfortable spending overall. The third thing that you want to think about is all the logistics that come along with planning a wedding. Is it going to be better for you to have an indoor wedding versus an outdoor wedding with all the time that you have for planning? Typically, a lot more work goes into planning an outdoor wedding because there are so many more moving pieces. For example, you'll likely have to hire a catering company, whereas an indoor venue might have in-house catering already there. And if you want to save money by not hiring a professional caterer, you'll have to take care of other food logistics like dinnerware, food temperature, and cleanup. You'll also have to consider the climate in your area. If it's unpredictable or it rains a lot, you'll need a tent for sure. If it gets too hot, you'll need some sort of AC unit, and if it gets too cold, you might need heating, especially at night. Other logistics that you'll have to take into consideration are bug control, electricity, and washrooms. A couple of solutions to these problems are to hire a wedding planner or book your wedding at an outdoor venue, and your wedding planner and venue coordinator can take care of most of those things for you. And typically with an outdoor venue, they have a lot of these things in-house, like electricity, lighting, tents, or like some type of shelter already in place so that you don't have to worry about those things. The last thing that you need to consider are the gathering restrictions in your area. How many guests do you want at your wedding? Do gathering restrictions stop you from inviting all of those guests? Are outdoor gathering restrictions more eased up than indoor gathering restrictions? Typically, that might be the case. The reason for that is because outdoor weddings can be considered safer than indoor weddings because there's more airflow. So there you have it, the 4 things that you need to consider when you're choosing between having an indoor or an outdoor wedding. When considering these things, always trace your thoughts back to the overall vision you want for your wedding and the budget that you have available to spend. Try not to get too caught up in all the details because like I mentioned, there's so many moving pieces when it comes to a wedding. It can get overwhelming either way, even with an indoor wedding. So you may as well choose the option that you feel will provide the best possible experience for you and your guests. So now that we've gone through everything, let me know in the comments, which option do you think is the best fit for you and why? Also, like this video if you found it helpful and make sure you subscribe because I have a lot more videos coming your way to help you plan your dream wedding.